Can I find and 3D print the entire new Warhammer 40k Cadia Stands box set? I don't know, but let's find out. And if we're gonna do this, we're gonna need a new badass machine, and that's what we got here. The Phrozen Sonic Muddy 4K.
The Phrozen Muddy Sonic 4K is a pretty sweet machine. It's got a 2.8 inch touchscreen panel, a 9.3 inch 4K mono LCD screen. Its maximum print speed is 80 millimeters per hour, and the print volume is 20 by 12.5 by 22 centimeters. This is an absolute beast of a printer. A quick leveling and an exposure test was all that was needed to set this printer up.
Now, I'm not hating. That new Cadia Stands box set is pretty sweet, I gotta admit. And the value is actually really good too. The new Imperial Guard Troopers looks ace. But I'm pretty sure with 3D printing technology, I can definitely make my own box set. So I started out looking for the miniatures, and there's a bunch of different options to choose from, but I ended up finding Print Minis. And Print Minis had almost everything I needed, and their troopers, well, they look really cool too. Once I had that, it was time to use a brand new tool that I just got, and I'm super excited about it.
I loaded up the Phrozen Aqua Gray 4K resin, and I did print this onboard chest piece just to make sure everything was working right before I got going. Then I loaded the printer into Chi2 Box Pro, and just look at the size of that build plate. Pay attention here, my bottom exposure time was 30 seconds, and I absolutely loaded up the first print. That's just simply amazing. I got like 20 guys on here. Now, the problem is, these things were absolutely stuck to the build plate, like nothing I've ever seen before. I had to work quite hard to get these things off. Then I washed them for about 7 minutes, and cured them for about 4. Now, I still had a few more minutes to print, but this time, I dropped my exposure settings down to 28 seconds, and these next things came off perfectly. And I gotta take a second here and say how good these supports just were. I was so pumped about the printer that I went ahead and found this tank by Print Minis and wanted to see if I could print something huge. So that's what I did. I went ahead and printed a tank. Now, I know this is not part of the Cadia Stands box set, but at this point, I still don't have the heavy weapon platforms or the walkers, and I really wanted to print something cool. And I gotta say that this Phobius battle tank, absolutely brilliant. I also done off the special weapon troopers. Then a whole pile of infantry, both male and female soldiers here. A lot of various poses, really sweet minis. But I still needed that command squad. So I found a whole bunch of guys like a comms guy, a navigation, a sergeant, a standard bearer, sniper, and I pieced together the command squad for the Cadia Stands set.
LV427 Designs is the sponsor for today's video. They make some epic interior sci-fi terrain across all types of genres, one of my favorite being the free to download Corridor Last Stand file. Even I just downloaded the Corridor Last Stand and it's fresh off the printer. And it's just one of many epic collections on www.lv427-designs.com. You can go onto their website and use code D20-15 for 15% off anything on your first order. Link is in the description below. Make sure to check it out.
I decided to try my hand at this whole slap chop method. So I primed the minis black with my airbrush, and then using a gray, I dry brush a base coat. And I use my wet palette here because a little bit of moisture on your brush when dry brushing, believe it or not, is helpful because it prevents a chalky finish. Sometimes just getting a bit of moisture back on your brush can help make that paint that you loaded up go a little bit further. Once the gray was down, it was time for a really light dry brushing of white. Trying to use mostly downward strokes. And as you can see here, there is quite a difference between those first two steps.
The two-step undercoating process is done on these troopers. I went ahead and tested out some greens. I got Creed Camo and Dark Angels Green. Now, I like the Dark Angels Green a little bit better. It's a little more grim dark, that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm interested to see how this whole slap chop method goes on the rest of these guys because I've never really done it before. So I can't wait to get some paint on these things, so let's just get at it.
Then it was time to layer up the uniforms. Picked out all the armor plates with the Dark Angels Green I decided on. Black Templar for the guns, belts, pouches, and a bunch of other details. Next, some cold steel to pick out some of the other details. Then I dry brush some damage and metal chips in the armor. Sleeping sack with some bone and sepia. And the gold details with some gold and sepia as well. Now, I didn't finish the bases here, so let me guys know in the comments, what do you think? Do you consider a miniature finished without the base being finished? Because I really don't, but I've got big plans for these minis, and I'm not quite ready to do the bases in this video. They're going to be part of a much larger project coming up.
There's no secret that the slap chop method has been a bit of a hot topic in the community lately. There's definitely a love-hate relationship going on with it. This is my first time trying it out, and I got to say, like, the results that I've been getting with these minis are really good, so I'm actually pleased with it. It's only taken me about an hour per mini, which is great. It's definitely a little better than a basic standard tabletop paint job. Now, this is the majority of the Cadia stands box set, but I still need the walkers and the heavy weapon platforms. Now, print minis don't really make the walkers or the heavy weapon platforms in this Caledon Fortis style miniatures that they got going on. They do make a walker in a Cyberpunk series that they're doing. It's a little bit big, but I think if I scale it down, I can make it work, so I'm going to go with that. And in the meantime, I'm going to reach out to a rep with them and see if they've got any intent on doing a heavy weapons platforms. I got a little bit of time before I want to clue this video up, so hopefully they can put something together, or hopefully there's something in the pipeline. So the thing I'm going to do now, I think, is to go ahead and get that walker on the printer and finish up these last few guys here. So let's get back at it.
I have to take a second to thank the members on my Patreon. You guys, as always, thank you so much. You rock. You really helped me bring this channel to new heights, and I appreciate it so much.
This looks like an absolutely amazing print. This printer just keeps turning out absolutely awesome prints, and it looks like I probably nailed the scale of this thing too. Can't wait to get it cleaned up and put together and see what it really looks like on the table.
This is a really cool walker kit, and it was a ton of fun to assemble. And at the end of the day, I think it fit in pretty good. Then, using some bigger dry brushes, I did the whole slap chop method again, except this time, I sprayed the miniature with my airbrush instead of applying it with the brush. Then I picked out the details like normal.
Not only did print minis come through, but they did it big time and came up with 3 different weapon platforms. I've got the howitzer on there right now. I'm excited to take that print out and see how it turned out. Just check that out. Absolutely awesome. They even done a ton of accessories and got a whole bunch of different field crew gunners there. I'm gonna put the rockets on there next because I figured a howitzer and rockets, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna do 2 of these things. And hey, that'll pretty much be the whole Cadia Stands box set. Awesome.
A big thank you to Print Minis here for hooking me up with these weapon platforms. And they even said they're going to be making some walkers too. So make sure you go onto their site and check them out at My Mini Factory. I'll link that in the description as well. I painted these up just like I did with the walker. And I gotta say, they got a lot of character. Here is the Cadia Stands box set. At first I didn't think I was going to pull it off, but I completely printed this box set. And I even got a tank in there. I'm going to paint that in another video too, so you're going to want to stick around on my channel and check that out. And guys, if you like that, I've got a Cadia Stands helmet right here and some other cool videos on my channel. Make sure to stick around and check them out.